Welcome to Loudbuzz Stories, where we share stories from real people across the world. If you have any fun stories you would like to share, leave a comment below. In this episode, 4 people share their most embarrassing sex stories. Number 1 is from Rachel Marie. She says, "This one is easy. It was early in the morning. I rolled over and seeing hubby just awakening. He said, 'I'm horny,' and I replied, 'What's new?' We get fooling around and he asks me to give him a blowjob. It's not my favorite thing to do, but I obliged because I know he loves it. I pull the covers to the end of the bed, I get into position and put his XXX in my mouth. Not even 30 seconds later the door swings open. It's our boys. They did a double take, they giggled and then ran out of our room. I was dying. I was so busted. My husband goes and locks the door and asks me to finish. It took everything I had to finish. So I'm 21 and horny. I met this guy at a club and we ended up very drunk and decided we would go back to his place. We do the dirty and fall asleep. During the night I get up to pee, without my glasses, still half drunk and half asleep. I find the bathroom, pee, then get back to bed. The light comes on and I hear WTF. This wakes me right up and I find myself squinting into the face of an older guy with a frightened looking woman peering over his shoulder. I shot out of bed shouting, "Sorry, I'm so sorry." I had stumbled into his parents' bedroom instead. I'm lucky they didn't have a shotgun. Number 3. I was 18 and I had a crush on a girl of my class. We would talk a lot and we both began to like each other. Even her parents knew me as I visited the house a lot. Once there was the death of her relative, so her parents went out of station for 3 days and she was at home alone, as there were many pets at her house including 2 dogs and a few rabbits. Now this was unexpected, we didn't plan it. And it kind of fell into place. I went to her house on the 3rd day as she was alone and not well. We were watching something on television, munching on the bowl of popcorn which was on her hand. By mistake I grabbed her boob. I apologized and told her I didn't mean it, but inside my blood was rushing and I got very horny. She looked at me in a weird way and then went away. I thought she might have felt bad, so I went in her room. She was sitting on the bed. I sat beside her telling her that I didn't mean it. Before I was able to complete it, she grabbed me and started kissing passionately. Of course things elevated quickly, then we were kissing madly, our clothes flying in every end of the room. We were naked on each other. After some time I heard a sound that felt like a doorknob, but I neglected it as her parents were in the other city. We started in the military position and the door opens. My heart felt in my throat. It was her mother and that reaction is still fresh in my mind. She saw us panicking and I was completely nude, so I grabbed my girlfriend and tried to cover myself with her. Her mother closed the door and went away. Number 4. I was in high school. My girlfriend and I were treated to a summer in which our prospective houses were empty more often than not, and sometimes all night. Given the opportunity, we lost our virginity to one another. At our leisure in comfortable beds, we were alone together, virtually as long as we wanted. We were spoiled. After a couple of months the seasons changed, and suddenly our houses were no longer empty. Suddenly we had no place to let it all hang out. We were hooked and needed a new plan that didn't involve money. After a short time, we hit on it. Funny thing about golf courses, nobody uses them at night. We would take a blanket and some wine, stumble down a couple of holes in the dark, away from the parking lot lights, and do our thing on a nice soft green. It was perfect. There were 4 to 5 courses to choose from. We never saw anyone. After a few weeks of owning our own world again, we got comfortable and careless. One evening at dusk we set up on a green that was near the edge of the course, met the country club estates. We were much focused on what we wanted to do, then on how light it was and how far it was from the houses. We got under the blanket, stripped totally naked, and I moved my face down between her legs, scrunching up in a ball at the bottom of the blanket. Before anything else I heard my girlfriend scream. Then I heard it, a cacophony of voices, whooping and yelling. Suddenly I was being dragged 4 to 5 feet, and the blanket was torn away. We were completely exposed. And a group of teenagers, some older and some younger, was running around us laughing and yelling. Perhaps they were as embarrassed as we were, so they quickly ran off, leaving the blanket and our clothes, thankfully not far away. We quickly got dressed and ran off to our car to distant yells of, "Perverts, stay off our course and we are calling the cops." If it was you in any of these cases, what would you have done? What is the most embarrassing moment you've had during sex? Leave a comment. Subscribe to our channel for more stories. Turn on the notification bell so that you get notified whenever we upload a new video.